We are back. Claustina Reynolds is here with us. Claustina, thanks for being here. Oh, she will be joining us shortly via Zoom. We're happy that we can get everyone joining us virtually in a safe screen-to-screen way. Claustina, are you here with us right now?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Christine, for having me.
It's wonderful to see you. Wonderful to have you here with us today. Tell me a little bit about your position with the school district.
So I am actually one of the vice principals of Ecker Hill Middle School. And in addition to that, I am also our facilitator for our Equity, Access, and Opportunity Task Force.
So tell me more about that position, being the facilitator, and how you are going about that, especially during this school year with so many challenges.
Yeah, so basically the role was appointed by the superintendent. And we started this last year. So now we're in our second year within the task force. And so what we've been doing is we've been tasked to look at the inequities within our district, right? And to really follow our mission and our vision statement of our district in terms of how we center on the whole child and how we look at servicing all children. And not from an equality model, right? Because equality, we know, is giving everyone the same thing, giving everyone equal shares, right? But equity looks at giving our student populations and our community what they need. So, for example, if you have a family, say a family of 4 children, and you're giving everyone breakfast, right? Equality is giving everybody Lucky Charms or shredded wheat, right? But if you have a child that is gluten-free, you have a child that might have had dental work and they can't consume certain things, another child with specific allergies, right? You are going to take an approach of equity. You are going to give each one of your children what they need to provide the sufficient nutrition for that day. And so that breakfast might look different for each one of your children. The same thing with our students.
It's an excellent example to really explain what you mean. So how do you go about making sure there's equity within the school district? And what are some unique challenges that you face here in a resort town here in Park City?
So how we go about doing it is different, right, for each one of our schools. But the main thing is that we keep students always at the forefront, and we're always centering students. How we go about it within our town, our town is a very interesting dynamic, right? Because you have so many kids hailing from so many, different backgrounds. I think the perception is that when you think of Park City, you think of, high socioeconomic brackets, right, in terms of income. And yes, we do indeed have that, but we also have, the other end of the spectrum, which is, more of a low socioeconomic bracket, right? And we have students whose parents are service workers, right, within our ski town industry, right, at the ski resorts, at the hotels. And then you also have, parents that are manicuring lawns, right, for our palatial estates, right? And then you have parents that, are involved with Fortune 500 companies, right? CEOs, medical healthcare professionals, right? At our major hospitals. So those are things that we deal with. We deal with that spectrum, and so in dealing with that, resources are going to look different, right, in terms of how we allot resources to meet the needs of each child. And it's not just about socioeconomic status. We have ability versus disability. Students who perform extremely high, right, versus students' ability where it might be compacted by a disability. So there's many different facets to the diversity that we have within our district that we love and that we so appreciate.
And what can we do as parents, as community members, as individuals that support the school district and support this mission of equity? How can we help you in your mission and in your objective?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I think that the best way to help is to listen, right? To listen, to seek to understand and seek to be understood. And it taught, it really kind of speaks to us being aware, right? Aware of the issues, aware of the problems, understanding how we get involved and what that involvement looks like, and being authentic to the cause, right? Authenticity looks like, I really want to understand, right, how this specific group is operating, or what are the challenges of this specific group? How does this child learn versus that child? What resources can I look at giving to basically, make sure that everyone is having an educational experience that thrusts them into the 21st century?
And Claustina, I'd love to hear more about your background and what brought you to where you are today as the assistant principal at Ecker Hill Middle School, and also working within the school district to promote equity. Just what made you decide to go into education?
Oh, okay. So I've been in education for 22 years. I'm originally from New York, Westchester County. And so I moved here almost 16 years ago. And when I moved here, basically, I was already in education. And what made me get into education, to answer your question, quite frankly, Christine, is when I was growing up, I remember having a first grade teacher, and you know how you go, well, first of all, it was pretty antiquated back then, right? So what I mean by that is there was like a boys line and a girls line to go to the bathroom, right? You couldn't go to the bathroom on your own. It was a bathroom time. And so being on that little bathroom line, you were just sitting there waiting, and you would be told two girls can go in or two boys can go in. Once one or two children came out, one or two would come in. And I remember going in, and I was looking, because you can see in the stalls, you can see each student's feet, right? So I looked over to see the feet of my classmates, just to see, okay, what bathroom is not being occupied? Because if there's a bathroom not being occupied, I want to use it. So I remember like looking, I wouldn't crouch down, but I just, kind of looked, right, just to see where I could see feet. And my teacher had come in, and she had said to me, she goes, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe that that you would be doing that. That is disgusting. That is horrible." And I didn't even know what I did. So for the majority of the rest of the year, she put me in the back of the line. She put me on the back of the line. So whenever we got up to go anywhere in our school, whether it be an assembly, whether it be lunch, whether it be the bathroom, I was always that child at the end of the line. And she never explained to me why. And even my friends were like, why did Miss Stanley put you at the end of the line? And I just was like, I don't know, and I was a really sensitive kid. So it really made me tearful, and it made me sad. And so as I got older and I thought about that experience, I thought to myself, I don't want that to be other children, right? I want us to listen, and I want us to understand issues and problems and seek to understand and seek to be understood. And so that's what really motivated me to go into education. And so that's kind of where that began. I did at one point want to be a mortician, but that kind of went out of my head once I realized that I would have to deal with maggots and embalming babies. But not to be so morbid, to move it along. So it got me through education. And what I did was, in terms of my education, I took the route of going secondary education for my bachelor's degree with a Spanish minor. And so in moving along, I went and I received a master's in New York in reading and in special education. And then by then, that's when I moved out to Utah. And I worked for Salt Lake City School District, and then Canyon School District, back to Salt Lake School District, and then here now in Park City School District. And along with that, I went back to school at the U when I got a second master's at the University of Utah, and I also earned my doctorate at the University of Utah as well.
Well, Claustina Reynolds, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. So happy that you took the time to talk with us about equity across Park City School District. If you want more information about our school district, about anything that's happening with these different schools and programs, you can head to pcschools.us. We'll be back with Park City Education Foundation right after this.